Look, just be cool. They're going to be here any minute. Nobody needs to know. They're probably not even going to ask about the trophy.
Hey, guys.
Hey. Okay, we admit it. We broke the Showdown of the Week trophy. We used it at a joke and it broke. I'm sorry.
Mine too. Boo! There, comfort handful of weird stuff.
There, comfort handful of weird. There, comfort handful.
Maybe it can be repaired.
Guys, it's okay. Accidents happen.
Yeah, don't even worry about it.
Oh, thank goodness, we were really worried you'd be angry.
So, how should we kill them?
I was thinking poison?
Off to the poison shop.
Show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend.
They have it for 5 minutes. We had this for a year. Polished it every day. And there's just, not only is this off, there's scratches all over it.
You know what they would say? They would say it's theirs to do with as they want.
Yeah, it belongs to
You don't own
a
something
greater-
like this. Yeah, you were a custodian of
Yes,
it.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
Look
they-
at like when you look after the class hamster.
Yeah. Well, I hope they wouldn't look after the class hamster like that. You will return the class hamster with one leg missing.
Nice.
Oh, that does look
There
good,
we
actually.
go. Yeah, there we go. I've got a nice
All is forgiven.
earring.
Let me snap off the other one and I'll take. Anyway, if I park my raging fury
Yes.
for just a minute,
Right.
I'd like to talk to you about something that makes me not furious. Deltarune! So, you're familiar with the game Undertale?
Yes.
Which came out a few years ago and is an enormously popular indie game that's all in sort of funny colours and like little 2D pixel style art, and it's very, very hard if you haven't played it to understand why everyone's so into it, because it's like, this game looks weird and confusing, I don't understand why everyone is crying.
Yeah.
And then you play it and you can't stop crying. Oh no. The guy who's the sort of like head designer on Undertale,
Toby Fox,
out of nowhere as a Halloween gift, released what appears to be the first chapter in a full-on sequel.
Yeah.
And it's called Deltarune, which is an anagram of Undertale.
Yeah. I didn't realise it was an.
You didn't realise it was an anagram? I mean, that's fine. You don't have to. There's no law against not...
That's quite obvious now I think about it. Anyway, yeah.
Sorry, don't beat yourself up.
Is it anagram? Is anagram the word where you mix up all the letters, or is
Yes.
that the?
Take it from me, the one who got that it was an anagram.
Burn.
Sorry, that was unreasonably savage. So, I will do my best to explain what the game is like without spoiling anything or spoiling anything in Undertale, which is going to be tricky because the game completely assumes that you have finished Undertale every way there is to finish it. So there is an enormous amount of assumed knowledge. In it, you play as a young human, older than the young human who you play in the first game, definitely a different human. You're in school, hanging out in high school, and you get sucked into the world of darkness because you go in a supply closet and everything goes a bit weird. And then, a little bit like Undertale, you have to sort of march eastwards. Hang on, that would be eastwards if you're watching.
Yeah.
March eastwards to sort of find your way home. So it's kind of a similar setup to Undertale, and actually there are a lot of similarities in that you meet a whole bunch of like crazy characters and it's really, really funny and very odd, but there are some really big differences as well. The main thing is that you're no longer alone. Now there's a full party system. So Undertale's core combat mechanic, if you like, is that you can fight enemies or you can choose to try and spare them. Yeah, and not attack them and not hurt them. You have to sort of figure out logically what you're supposed to do, normally through talking to them or like complimenting an insecure monster, or they're always kind of weird and idiosyncratic, but you can sort of see the logic. And then in between that, you have to do a sort of shmup style avoidance game where you have to keep your little red heart, which is your soul, out of the way of a bunch of
white lines.
yeah. So it's got a kind of like, it's got a little bit of like an action game kind of mechanic to it as well. What I didn't expect was how well that would translate to a multi-person party system. It's really cool. It opens up loads more gameplay options, like you can order other characters to talk to the enemies. It's just that usual sort of Final Fantasy thing of like thinking about what's everyone going to do and in what order will it happen and what's the best tactical thing. So in some ways, weirdly, Deltarune feels a lot more like a conventional game than Undertale did, which is kind of odd and makes me deeply suspicious. There's a bunch of other stuff. So in your party, there's Ralsei, who is a sort of cute little mage-like creature, and they are teaching you all about how it's possible to not fight and how what we should do is go through and not fight. Undertale never tells you that explicitly. In fact, no one ever really explains anything to you at all. You have to figure it all out for yourself. So the fact that there's this sort of tutorial character who's almost like a very, very stereotypical RPG character who's like, hello, you're the hero. I'm going to come with you on your journey and help you. It's helpful. It makes the game a lot more accessible, but it also makes me deeply suspicious that something's going on. And the other character is Susie, who is this hardcore punk rock, super angry, moody kid in your school who only wants to fight. The very first conversation you have with her, she threatens to bite your face off. What's really fun is that when Susie joins your party, she only wants to fight, and she will fight everything. And obviously, you're trying to spare everything and go through the game peacefully.
So you're kind of actively having to stop someone in your own party from messing up.
Like, the first thing you have to do is warn them about Susie. Like, watch out for Susie. And then Susie's like, ah, with her axe. But because you've warned them, they can dodge the attacks and stuff. On the one hand, it's a lot more like a conventional RPG, but on the other hand, it does that brilliant Undertale thing of subverting how that should be played.
Sprinkles of subversion.
Exactly. I won't really say anything else about the story or how it progresses, except that it's really interesting and it takes some unusual turns, and there are some definite twists and surprises. And if you're familiar with the world of Undertale, then there are some real kind of moments. What's interesting is that I've been playing Deltarune at the same time as playing Red Dead Redemption. Obviously, Deltarune took me about 3 hours to cruise through. Red Dead is a much, much bigger investment. What's interesting about them is that Red Dead Redemption is a game I've been looking forward to for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hype, that game is the very embodiment.
The hype is real.
The hype is real. No game is more hyped than Red Dead. On the one hand, I'm playing that, and then on the other hand, I'm playing Deltarune, which is a game that I didn't even
know it was going to exist until it was just dropped. And also, he did a thing where he was he released the game.
It's free as well. Yeah.
And said, don't tell anyone about this for 24 hours.
Yeah.
He wanted people to kind of stumble across it.
Yeah. To have these two very, very different games, and one that was dropped out of nowhere, like a Beyonce album or something, just as a total surprise. And the difference in the experience of playing them because of that was really, really interesting. Because playing Red Dead, although it's very, very enjoyable, it's very, very good, I can never stop weighing up how it is compared to how
I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. And for the most part, it's met or sometimes exceeded my expectations, but you can never stop thinking about that.
You're always comparing.
Yeah, I never thought we were going to get more Undertale. I only played it quite recently, but it was such a wonderful experience and such a wonderful game that I feel really, really lucky that I've sort of finished it, and then a few weeks later it's here's a surprise sequel. I feel really sorry for everyone who played Undertale when it came out and has just been sat on their hands being I guess there'll never be a game that good. And then,
you got it in 2 months after
it. The old Westaway luck coming through again. Undertale was super enjoyable when I was playing it, but the thing that made me remember it since has been the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, it's so good. I've not even played it, and I know all the tunes now because of all the videos we've done.
It has just this incredibly catchy and memorable and very, very different series of jingles and tunes for each character that you really start to associate with each one. And I think that's why Undertale has really stayed with me, because I'll be going about my daily life and I'll just be How many games can you think of where you can readily call to mind 5 or 6 different character themes? As I was playing Undertale, I didn't really appreciate that. It was only afterwards I realised that they were
all stuck there forever.
But that was the thing playing Deltarune. Every time I entered a new area, I was like, Here we go. Let's hear the music. Let's not move or do any combat. Let's just listen. And it really does not disappoint. Like it's as good as Undertale easily. Like some really, really amazing. Oh, there's occasionally like a little bit of music, like a little motif from Undertale will be sort of slipped in there, and I'll be like, little musical clues as to like which characters know each other and who has to do with what, and some bits are other bits slowed down, and it's just, oh man, it's this whole little like puzzle mystery box all of its own, the music. So that's Deltarune.
Nice.
Who knew?
Amazing. Well, looking back at some classics that are coming back a little bit, that sort of works as a link, right?
Hey, it's working for me. I mean, hey, let's not forget that canonically I don't know where this is going, so I can't validate yet whether it's a good link or not. I mean, let's see what we're going into, and then we'll.
Well, one game that is coming back to all consoles is.
Stick it out. Commit to the bit.
Well, something that also has monsters in it, but of a friendlier kind, in the form of dragons that are gold and purple. It's Spyro Reignited Trilogy.
Wow, the parallels are there.
I think I smell a barbecue.
Yes, the Gold and Purple legend is back on our consoles in shiny new HD. Spyro the Dragon has got an update for the Reignited Trilogy, encompassing Spyro the Dragon, Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, and Spyro Year of the Dragon. Luke, Spyro is back!
Hooray!
He's all shiny and adorable, and he's a little bit more animated and less polygonal.
You're a big Spyro
Weird.
fan, aren't you, Ellen?
Well, I didn't play the games.
What? You're the biggest Spyro apologist I know.
What?
You're like, Spyro's great, can't wait to play the Reignited Trilogy.
Because I didn't get to play it as a kid.
Oh, why are you so
So I'm
excited
just
then?
like,
I think you might be disappointed.
Well, the thing is,
Are they that great?
Well, when we were chatting Games with Remember, Mike was like, well, some people that you either kind of play Croc or Spyro. And Croc was the game that I got. So that's what in terms of like PlayStation notes, because you were a Nintendo kid more.
Yeah.
I played Croc, and like Spyro looked cool, but I could, like, they were the games that never came down in price, a bit like Mario nowadays.
Which is baffling to me. Like, why is Spyro not coming down in price? I think Spyro priced himself out of the market, frankly.
No, but it's a hugely successful series, and there were.
It's a series.
Dude, you are enraging all of the Spyro fans out there.
Both of them. Sorry. Sorry. Hang on. What am I doing? I'm being so unnecessarily and unfairly mean to Spyro.
I'm really excited about playing this, and I have played at Gamescom and E3. And it was really fun. The platforming is genuinely really fun. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to playing more of the games. They've basically taken it and improved upon the controls and everything as well, it feels like.
Consider me told off.
So mean. But Luke, I have some questions for you. I'm going to test your Spyro knowledge. So every Spyro fan out there can be like,
I'm sorry, Spyro fans. I didn't mean it.
Seriously, like every single person I know who has had any like sort of brief interaction with Spyro during their childhood has seen these games.
I know.
Advertised and just lost their mind just with excitement.
Now that I think about it, I do know quite a few people who played Spyro and love Spyro and are excited for the game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry for being flippant.
The first games are adorable,
what Spyro would
fun.
Want.
No, exactly.
It's not what Spyro taught us to be. We can be better. I don't recognise the man who made those statements. It is me, and yet it is not me.
But Luke, some questions.
Yeah.
In the first game, Spyro the Dragon.
Yeah.
Nasty Nork, who's like a cross between a gnome and an orc, and it's spelt nasty with GN, which is adorable.
Nice.
I like that. He traps all the dragons in crystal. That's what kicks off the events of the first game. However, Spyro becomes the hero that has to save them all as he manages to avoid the attack. Luke, Do you know how Spyro manages to not get crystallized?
Oh man. So you know how like at the beginning of a lot of RPG games you'll be sent on a very minor quest and it's
Yeah.
like, hey, go get a chicken from the next village, and you come back with the chicken and everything's on fire. And
It's like that community gif where he comes
oh yeah,
in
it comes in with the pizza and everything. Yeah, it's like that. That's actually what I imagined. Did Spyro go to get pizza? Yeah. Was Spyro on a snack run? Spyro, man, we could all do with a slice of Czar. It was the 90s, don't forget.
Yeah.
So, and then Spyro comes back. I don't know how he would carry the pizza. Or maybe on his back.
On his back or on his head.
If he held it in his mouth and just breathed on it lightly to keep it warm. Spyro's back. It's the hot pizza. What's that? Everyone's encased in crystal.
More pizza for Spyro.
More pizza.
Radical.
Is that the right?
No.
Is that not? No. How did Spyro escape?
That's because he was too small. Basically, all the other dragons are massive, and so he was kind of missed.
Oh, so like Nork doesn't see him, maybe, or it's like, oh, that must be some sort of squirrel. It can't be a dragon. It's so small and inconsequential.
Let's just say that. Yeah, he thought he was
Thought it
a
was a
squirrel.
squirrel.
That's canonical.
Thought, gosh, that scaly squirrel must live such a hard life already. An outcast from the other squirrels.
You were saying about how you love music in Undertale?
Yeah.
Well, the music in Spyro is also particularly loved, especially in the early games. In fact, there's a cool feature in the Reignited Trilogy where players can choose between listening to the old music, the original music, or the remastered, kind of updated, re-recorded versions.
That's cool. So you can
get the old school tunes.
You can get the
going.
old sort of like 32-bit synthy keyboardy version,
or the
orchestral remaster. Okay,
Yeah.
that's nice.
But Luke, do you know who wrote the music?
Only if it's Grant Kirkhope.
No.
No, I don't know who composed the Spyro music actually, but I would be very interested to learn.
He's friends with Sting,
The rest of the police?
sort of.
Wait, not Stuart, not the drummer, Stuart Copeland?
Yeah.
No, what? Really? Arguably the greatest drummer in rock or pop history. Wow!
You want to play Spyro now, don't you?
Well, I want to listen to the music. That's amazing.
right?
No way. Kids, ask your parents about the police. Not about the police, about the band The Police. Cool.
Final question in this little trivia section. Who was the developer of the original games? And you can ask clues.
I would like a clue, please.
Web.
Insomniac Games?
It is indeed!
Hey! Wow.
So yeah, because they've worked on a lot of
Yeah, I had
PlayStation
no idea.
exclusive stuff for years.
That's the Spyro people. What happened here?
Oh, just part of the universe exploded, and my case decided to copy it so that it was accurate.
I hope this
So
isn't
it's
the bit that
geographic.
Earth is in. I suppose not.
No, we're there, so it's fine.
Well, this bit, you mean this bit that the fracture is clearly spreading to?
Yeah.
Great.
So tell your loved ones not to worry.
Don't tell them anything. Better to not know.
Look, you may remember that previously we created a 90s video game character for you on Show of the Weekend called
Smash Blue Whale.
Here's a clip. You've created Smash Blue Whale, who wears a t-shirt over a long sleeve shirt. So yes, Luke, today we can't bring out an HD remaster because we didn't have that original 90s classic game
so
actually
annoying.
kind of created fully.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're going to add some elements so we can start.
Oh my god, we're finally expanding the Smash Blue Whale lore.
Yeah.
Yes.
Create a more well-rounded character so that we can pitch to developers this fantastic new game that we want.
Hey, we won't be pitching. Developers, call us.
In true Outside Extra style, we're going to be deciding this by having you choose numbers between 1 and 6.
Cool. I think that's how most games are designed.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. As we've established, Spyro has a little dragonfly buddy called Sparks. Luke, if Smash Blue Whale could have a little animal buddy with him, what would it be?
Number
Please. Okay. Sparks isn't just for company. He serves a purpose by changing colour depending on Spyro's health levels. Between numbers 1 and 6, what would your buddy do for you?
4.
4.
4.
Okay, that's actually quite perfect. In Spyro Year of the Dragon, we're getting ahead of ourselves because this is the third game in the series. There are some fantastic skateboarding levels.
Oh, my word.
Luke, please select a number to
What are the
choose
kids into?
your sports level.
Oh, okay. Man, I hope it's something equally hip and relevant. 2.
Lovely.
2 again. 2
Lovely.
again. Yeah.
Now we have a slightly more well-rounded character
Good.
with a little helper and a cool side thing that he can do
Tell me-
as well as
Tell me
being a whale.
Smash's pal.
So Smash's pal is a catfish.
Yeah.
A literal catfish.
Yeah, has to be in the water. Good.
Yeah.
They're not very fun looking. They're like... They've got like tendrils, haven't
Yeah. They're called catfish because they got little whiskers.
they? Whiskers is a very charitable way of describing the slimy fronds that hang from their mouths. Okay, cool, catfish. Maybe if we put some big eyes on it, it'll be cute.
Yeah. And his little thing is that he sings a little song for you as you swim along.
What, to indicate how much health you've got?
just to keep you happy.
You're close to death. You're going to die soon. Find a health item or you'll die in pain.
He is there for morale.
Well, cool. All
Yeah?
right. Okay, yeah, cool. Sings a little song.
And
Nice.
then finally,
Except it's underwater, so it'll be completely inaudible.
yeah.
Yeah.
And finally, your amazing sports level is Scooter.
No. Smash Blue Whale would have to be put on like a flotilla of scooters. Mm-hmm. Sort of like pushed along.
There's just one really big scooter.
Yeah.
Little fins here.
You know how they transport Free Willy, like on the back of an enormous like flatbed truck? It'd be like if you put just like the steering column at the front of that. It'd be like that. Smash under like a big blue tarp. And a team of people like hosing him down. It's got to keep him wet or he'll die.
Smash
Nice.
Blue Whale, now a slightly more
Now
well-rounded
got a buddy.
character.
Definitely.
And I'm waiting for the next HD release of a classic 90s game to make him even more of a well-rounded character.
Yeah, stay tuned for the next
Bit
instalment.
by bit. Just just little drops. Keeping you on.
Drip fed with
Yeah.
lore.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's
Well, we've
fun.
learned a lot about Spyro.
Yes.
But maybe now it's time, Ellen, for us to swoop down into the bit underneath the YouTube video.
We're on,
Dragon-like.
but we should add gold to this, and then we would be Spyro. This
Oh, yeah, that's
would
right.
be
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
So we'll swoop down on our Spyro sofa into
To the comments.
Whoa!
Whoa! The last few weeks at Xtra Towers have been super hectic and really fun, with Ellen and I both at PAX Australia in Melbourne, leading up to a live version of Show of the Weekend, which starred Jane and a devious D&D inspired Red Dead cowboy adventure.
Silas McGrim, everybody, and Caleb Justice McCall.
Give us a minute to just get into
into
character,
character, guys.
based on what you've said.
All right. Okay, there it is. There's the face. All right. All right, find yourself, center yourself in the role.
I noticed that you're not doing what I'm doing.
Well, I'm the good guy. I just have to sit back and try and look like a handsome man in the Wild West.
It's working.
Commenter Reckless Rex was just as keen on our characters as we were, Luke. Can't wait for the fan art of Caleb and Silas. Ha!
Well, it's nearly done. Ta-da! I'm especially proud of the shading on Silas's enormous pecs.
Very nice, Luke. Elsewhere, we looked at your copious suggestions for game-inspired tattoos we totally get, if only we weren't so freaked out by needles.
It looks like a very simple treasure map that involves like doing circles around a desert island until you get to where all the gold is buried. It also looks a little bit like the Dreamcast logo or the swirl that you get on the front of a Poliwhirl in Pokemon. So there's some things that it could be confused for. But
You put it on your belly.
Especially if I had it large on my belly, yeah, which is, let's face it, where I would get it done. All that poly talk caused commenter Ryan McCarthy to remember something, Ellen. Fun fact, the swirls on the entire poly line of Pokemon are actually supposed to be their intestines.
Oh, Ryan, I don't think fun fact means what you think it means.
Man, Pokemon really has no chill. Let's move on. Move on to Life is Strange 2, because Jane and I had a wonderful time on the Purple Sofa recently chewing through your delicious theories on what's going to happen next. This seems to be like the dominant theory.
Oh, dominant theory.
Brody is a disgraced member of the Prescott family.
Oh.
Explains the weird desire to stop at Arcadia Bay. It's close to the dying mother who he references.
The Prescotts are super rich.
They are super rich, which he talks about, but the money's run out.
Raphael Macri has a pretty wild theory, Luke. What if Brody is Doom Guy? Eh? Wait, Luke, are you theorising already?
Oh, what? No, I was just giving Silas a cool bandana. Okay. Although Brody and Doom Guy are a similar height.
Moving on.
Yes!
While we were away, Mike and Andy hijacked the channel for a series of spooky Halloween live streams, including Dark Souls on Switch.
Oh, here's some stairs.
Yeah, I would avoid going down those stairs.
All right.
I did that the first time I played, and bad times happened.
Bad things happen.
Commenter Mr. Dude Man Guy McWiggins makes a salient point. Mike, you say there are bad times down the stairs at Firelink Shrine. Can you name any places where there are good times?
Oh, how about Valley of the Cakes?
No, Ellen, that's Valley of the Drakes.
Oh.
It's full of dragons.
Oh.
Speaking of. We also recently took a look at the games that really mess with your mind if you play them a lot.
So powerful is the Tetris effect that some find themselves perceiving objects around them in their purest geometric form, to imagine how they could be made to fit together. Scientists researching the effects of visual spatial tasks on the brain found MRI evidence that correlates regular exposure to Tetris with thickened grey matter, suggesting that regularly playing the game will actually alter the physical structure of your brain, which is kind of freaky. Lesson learned. No puzzle game is worth messing with your head like that. No sir, no more Tetris for me.
You're playing it right now.
Am I? I can't even tell anymore.
Commenter Tilly Casket and dudes can think of one more game that has bled into real life, Luke. Every time I see the shadow of a bird flying overhead, I automatically think a dragon from Skyrim is about to attack.
Yeah, but just remember that dragons aren't...
I'm sure that was nothing.
Yeah, but just in case, shall we get behind the sofa?
Oh, what are you looking at there, Luke?
Oh, just got an email from Mike. An investment opportunity. Might be time to diversify the portfolio. Mike seems like a pretty smart business guy.
Does he though?
It's rarely a good idea to climb things, except maybe very low hills. Ooh, or the corporate ladder, of course. Ooh, or the corporate ladder, of course. You tell Hong Kong, as soon as that bell rings, bull or bear, I want every last stock dumped. Dumped! Sorry. Except maybe very low hills. Ooh, sorry. Bull or bear, as soon as that bell rings, I want you to dump I want every last piece of sorry. Bull or bear, as soon as that bell rings, I want every last piece of stock dumped. Dumped! It didn't quite close. It's rarely a good idea to climb things, except maybe very low hills. Ooh, and of course, the corporate ladder. Yeah, well, you tell Hong Kong that bull or bear, as soon as that bell rings, I want you to... I know! He
does look really cool.
It's rarely a good idea to climb things, except maybe very low hills. Oh, and of course, the corporate ladder. God, I'm just gonna be here forever, aren't I? It's because I'm trying to maneuver my fingers around the back while concentrating on what I'm saying. This is the most challenging line I've ever had to deliver. Yeah, it really is. How depressing is that? It's rarely a good idea to climb things, except maybe very low hills. Oh, and of course, the corporate ladder. Yeah, well, you tell Hong Kong that bull or bear, once that bell rings, I want every last piece of stock dumped. Dumped!
Yeah. Yeah, Hey, there we go.
There we go.
Ring, ring. Business calling.
I always wanted one of these. Never got.
They're good. They're good. There we go. I've actually practiced. No, there we go. I've actually practiced this loads.
Oh,
Hey.
so you get your thumb in there beforehand.
Yeah, you got to slide your thumb in the side. Just lost knowledge. Completely useless now.
Yeah. I mean, like.
Yeah, exactly. Just throw it across the room. Anyway, I'm gonna keep doing this. It's weirdly satisfying. I think it's the new fidget spinner. Kids, get a Motorola Razr on eBay.
They're like £3. Cheaper than a fidget spinner.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and a great spare phone. In all seriousness, you know, I mean, we try and entertain and educate here on the show of the weekend. So we've learned a lot about Spyro. We've learned a lot about Deltarune.
Yes.
And we don't have any live shows coming up, so we've got no sort of URL to put at the beginning. We've just got beautiful Christmas to look
Cheers
forward
to everyone who came to PAX.
Yeah, we had such a wonderful time.
It was
Thank you
amazing.
guys. Yeah.
I know we've already said it in the live show, but I got to pet a koala. It was great.
Yeah, so densely fluffy.
I fed a wallaby.
It was awesome.
And it had a little Joey.
Anyway, thank you very much, guys, for watching.
Luke,
anyway. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. As always, if you want to watch more Show of the Weekend, we've made so much.
So many.
Yeah, you can check it all out in the playlist. Or there's obviously plenty of other videos. If you are subscribed already but haven't rung the little bell, maybe consider doing that, because that way you'll get notified whenever we do a new video, which YouTube doesn't always do. It can be a little mysterious, that YouTube.
Mysterious is a word.
In fact, what's that? Ring ring, taking a call right now from YouTube HQ.
Oh.
Hello, business. Yeah.